Good evening, this is TCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ninghoy Kim Kong Sai. First, the headlines. Siloy Tar Bridge constructions continue smoothly. Last bridge pillar erected today. Top cookie zoo body, WKSIC trusts move to ban it. Manipur government pushes for anti-terror law, UAPA. Called to accord the highest burial tribute today to our two cookies of fallen heroes of the infamous Pioneer Moon incident. News in detail. The Siloy Tar Bridge construction is going smoothly as they erected the last pillar today. The Siloy Tar Bridge is constructed over Gun River at Mulnum village, Chandil district, and this bridge is built to replace the Suknu road, which had already been cut off due to the ongoing ethnic crisis in the state. This bridge is constructed without any monetary aids or funds from the government, but built purely out of the meager donations of the public and CSOs. The construction of this bridge is spearheaded by Tonglel Halkip chief of Mulnum village, and he was aided by Gunpi area Kuki chief associations. Tonglel said that well-wishers and right-thinking people of the society had donated materials like cement, iron bars, etc. And also monetary aid comes from all corners, due to which this construction is still ongoing. The villagers or people of the Gunpi area also volunteer to work there for the constructions of the Siloy Tar Bridge. Even men in their 70s work in the erections of the last pillar today. Tonglel father says that the Kuki Kanglai Longpi KKL had provided fooding for the workers till today, and that the Kuki in Tingnopal had sent workers to work there. The Gunpi area villages also routinely works there at the construction site. This route will serve as the main connectivity between districts once done, since it gives connectivity and easy locomotions between districts such as Lamka, Chandil, Tingnopal, and others as well. During rainy season, people used to cross the Gun River through boat or directly through their vehicles, but then water level rises it becomes possible to cross the river, and there is no other bridge in the area that have the capacity to carry big vehicles. Bearing all this in mind, Tonglel had initiated this bridge construction, and we should all support him in this matter.
We are here at the construction site of Siloy Tar Bridge, which is located at Mulnum and is constructed over the Gun River. As we can see, today is the end day for the setting up of the pillars for the bridge, and this Siloy Tar Bridge will serve a huge purpose for the people, for the Kukizo people, since this will connect Churachandpur to other districts such as Chandil, Tingnopal, More, and other places as well. This Siloy Tar Bridge is voluntarily constructed. The construction of this Siloy Tar Bridge is voluntarily initiated by Mr. Tonglel, chief of Mulnum village. He and his friends has initiated the construction of this bridge without any help or any scheme from the government. The government had not funded even a single penny for the construction of this bridge, and those other CSOs, some individuals took part in and contributed a certain sum of money or contributed other materials for the construction of. So this bridge serves as a symbol that we, the Kukizo people, are independent from the Manipur government. We hope for the successful construction of this bridge, and that the bridge will serve its purpose soon. Anyone who wants to contribute for the construction of this bridge is welcome anytime. Now let's have a talk with one of the members who contributed greatly in the construction of this bridge. This is Mr. Holkumang Baite, and we would like to ask him a few questions. Sir, my first question is, can you brief us about the construction of this bridge so far?
This area is called Siro area, Tingkangpai, Mulnum area. And here, before the problem was erupted in this area, our main lifeline was Sugunu Bridge. And between Churachandpur and Chandil and Kakching, Sugunu Bridge was the main source of lifeline, and when problem was erupted in last year, May 3rd, since then Manipuri used to cut off those bridges. After that, this area will totally cut off from the Churachandpur districts and other marketing places. Since then, this area people use this river. They used to cross during the monsoon season. They are using local boats. That becomes risky, or it is impossible to transport heavy and bulky things. So it is inevitable to construct this bridge. That's why this Gunpi Area Chief Association, with the initiation of the Molnom Chief, Brother Tonglal Haukip, and his committee, they used to initiate this construction of bridge.
My next question is, sir, from where do you get the funds to construct this huge project?
This bridge is purely constructed with the contributions of the local people and some well-wishers and goodwill societies from Kuki-Zo communities, somebody from within the states and somebody from abroad. So this is purely without any aid from the government fund. This is purely contributed by the Kuki-Zo peoples, and every nooks and corners of Kuki-Zo inhabited areas, donations coming time to time. With that meager amount of money, they used to construct this bridge, and they can reach up to this stage so far.
Thank you, sir. Reporting for TC Network, I am Tingnay Team Haukip.
Aware of the importance of this bridge and its lack of funding, we can all contribute together for the rapid construction process of the Siloita Bridge, so that we can all have a safer and easier transportations and locomotions in the earliest. Two senior members of a top civil society group of the Kuki-Zo tribes have refuted allegations made by the Manipur government that the intellectual group called for taking up arms in the state affected by ethnic violence. The BJP state government led by Chief Minister N. Biren Singh in October 2023 had announced a police case against the Royal Kuki-Zo Intellectual Council, WKZIC, had been filed, with charges under the stringent Anti-Terror Law Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, or UAPA, for allegedly publishing a statement asking volunteers in the Kuki-Zo tribes to take up arms as Kuki-Zo insurgent groups cannot join the war due to the tripartite suspensions of operations SOO agreement with the center and the state government. Now, 7 months later, the state government is pursuing the matter with the Home Ministry to ban the WKZIC, citing information about a group given by state intelligence operatives, people in the state government with direct knowledge of the matter, told NDTV. Before the latest push to ban the WKZIC under the anti-terror law, Manipur government and police officials in February, 4 months after the Biren Singh government announced its intention to ban the group under the UAPA, worked in speed to send a request to the Home Ministry with ground reports collated by the Crime Investigations Department (CID) Special Branch operatives asking to declare the WKZIC and unlawful associations or organization. Documents accessed by NDTV show. WKZIC on October 25, 2023 had already trusted the statement attributed to it as fact and questioned the state government's effort to ban the group under the UAPA, which WKZIC has said was all on the basis of the unofficial and fact statements circulated on social media. We are a global group. We do not hide any of our activity. We would like to see peace, but so many rights violations are happening. The state government cannot be trusted. So we appeal to the Prime Minister and the Home Minister to intervene and solve the Manipur problem. One of the two senior members of WKZIC told NDTV on phone from Monday, requesting anonymity. The other senior WKZIC member, who is in Delhi, told NDTV the state government is intimidated by the WKZIC, as many highly qualified people from several sectors and professions are part of it. and they have been gaining ground with documentary evidence against state-sponsored propaganda. The government trying to ban us after seeking a fake statement attributed to us is one of the most ridiculous things to come out of Manipur since last year. Have they checked the source of the statement? Have they found the unknown miscreant behind it? The Delhi-based members told NDTV. We had said there and then, October 25, 2023, the statement was fake. The government is only looking for mileage, the senior member said, requesting anonymity as he is not authorized to speak to the media. Headed by Dr. T.S. Haukip, WKZIC, formerly Kuki-Zo Intellectual Forum, was formed on May 14, 2023, with its head office in Churchampur, according to police records. Dr. Tatang Hang Singh is its vice president. After the purported statement attributed to WKZIC came out on October 24, 2023, the Manipur police on their own, Sumoto, filed a first information report (FIR) on October 30 with the police stations in Churchampur, a district categorized as a hill area and dominated by Kuki-Zo tribes. Documents accessed by NDTV, including the first information reports, FIR, and CID special branch reports, and communications between police and state officials shows that after the purported WKZIC statement came out, the state government was alarmed by alleged movement of armed Kuki militants in large numbers in Churchampur, Kangpokpi, and Tingnopol districts. Their deployment is for carrying out attacks on security forces, especially the Manipur Police Commando team stationed in Moray. There are also inputs regarding increase in strength of village volunteers of Kuki-Zo community in the jungle areas of Moray and movement of consignments of weapons to Moray from Churchampur via jungle route, a senior intelligence officer of Manipur Police wrote in a letter to the State Home Department on February 7. A day after the Home Department sought information from the police on the proposal to ban WKZIC as an unlawful organization under the UAPA, the senior police officer enclosed intelligence reports collected over 3 months on the movement of suspected Kuki insurgents towards the border trading town Moray, where 2 Manipur police commandos were killed in actions in January. Enclosing the Manipur police reports, the State Home Department then wrote to the Ministry of Home Affairs (MHA) on February 11, reminding about the Manipur government's request to ban the WKZIC under the UAPA. I am directed to request the Ministry to kindly consider and take up necessary actions for declarations of World Kuki-Zo Intellectual Council WKZIC as an unlawful associations or organizations under Section 3 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 in the larger interest of the general public. The Manipur Home Department Joint Secretary said in the letter to Union Home Ministry. The state police concluded in the report that sent to the State Home Department in that the activities of WKZIC has encouraged or aided persons under its influence, including various civil society organizations, militant groups, miscreants, and other persons in the Kuki-Zo community to commit acts of violence, intimidations, or intimidations against other communities and state security forces. The various violent activities encouraged or incited by WKZIC has led to escalations of violence in the current situations, said the state, the police report alleged. The Home Department then enclosed this report in its letter to MHA on February 11. An email sent to WKZIC went unanswered. The group does not mention a phone number in its statement posted on social media. The ethnic clashes between the Métis and the Kuki-Zo tribes began over cataclysmic disagreements on sharing land, resources, affirmative actions, policies, and political representations, mainly with the general category Métis seeking to be included under the Scheduled Tribes category. Over 220 people have been killed and more than 50,000 have been internally displaced since the violence began on May 3, 2023. The Committee on Tribal Unity, together with our people and the family members, have accorded the highest burial tribute today to our two fallen Kuki-Zo volunteers, L. Kamling Satlun Kim and L. Camila Lupeng, for their selfless sacrifice to defend our land and for our freedom from tyranny and subjugations from the Mesorita Meitei-led administrations by performing their last ritual rites at Mother Cemetery, Paisang. Moreover, the committee have fervently appealed to concerned authorities of the state to locate their bodies and hand them over to their families for their honorable burial. The committee even organized a monumental 2-kilometer long rally and even closed down government offices, drawing the attention of current dispensation, demanding to find their bodies and nab the perpetrators. However, our prayers, even after more than a month, have remained full-time. This inability of the current dispensation to initiate actions on crimes against the minority Kuki-Zo community again and again, and the failure to locate the bodies of the two Kuki-Zo volunteers yet again has proven our complete and total separations from the erstwhile state of Manipur. So, in acknowledgement of this geographical divide between the two hills dominated by the minority Kuki-Zo Christian tribal community and the valley, predominantly occupied by Mesorita Meitei community, we have decided to conduct this symbolic burial ceremony for our two fallen heroes. Therefore, reiterating our faith in the central government with the mandate of our people, the committee urged the Central Investigative Agency or agencies to take up the case of L. Kamling Satlun Kim and L. Camila Lupeng, who were butchered like animals, one of the most gruesome violations of human rights and human decency. Today at 8 a.m., the district police conducted awareness on traffic safety program in different places of Lamka, and the awareness was given by traffic control police officers. The officers taught the public traffic rules and regulations. First of all, the police taught traffic manners and rules to the public who were crossing police stations at Old Bazaar Lamka Tedim Road. Diesel auto drivers are requested to permanently lock the right door of their vehicles to prevent passengers from getting down in the wrong side. The officers also taught the public how to properly park and how to properly use the turning light or side light. The officers also requested the two-wheeler drivers to wear helmet for their safety, since most of them are seen without wearing one. Traffic Control Police, OCS, Zamliang Kup and his team divided into group, and using loudspeakers and standing beside the busy road, they remind the public and drivers traffic rules and regulations. SL Tangsapal Vaipe, SDPO Cherichampur missed the media houses later in the evening at his office in regards to traffic safety. He says that due to ethnic crisis in the state, a huge number of people have been influxed into Lamka, leading to increase in number of vehicles as well. The roads in our sites are small and congested, so he further requests the public to learn and follow traffic safety rules. He requested everyone to follow traffic rules for their own safety and well-being. The SDPO further highlighted the main traffic rules and regulations to be followed, which are: no one should practice rash driving, to avoid driving after consuming intoxicants and alcohols. Two-wheelers should carry a maximum of 2 passengers. All two-wheeler drivers should compulsorily wear helmet underage, and people with no driving license should avoid driving. Do not overtake if possible, to avoid overloading of vehicles, and loaded trucks are prohibited to travel between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to avoid unwanted traffic and accidents. We are living in our own land, so we should do our best to make it a better place, added the officer. He further says that all this cannot be achieved only with the police department but needs the cooperation of the general public as well. For the traffic safety to have full effect, CSO, philanthropic organizations, student bodies, youth club, police authority, and the general public should support the police department and cooperate with them. The district transport office had closed down due to the ongoing war, due to which document checking should be banned. No one is allowed to impose fine due to non-possession of documents. And if anyone is mad to fine in regards to any traffic-related issues, they can report to District Police Officer or SDPO, he added. Manipur police apprehended 15 individuals implicated in the theft of construction materials from the premises of the National Institute of Technology at NIT Langol and neighboring properties within the Langol area of Imphal West District. The arrest met on the 21st of May 2024 marked a significant breakthrough in the ongoing efforts to curb illicit activities in the region. The coordinated operation, spearheaded by Manipur Police, was initiated following reports of rampant thefts plaguing the construction sites in Langol, State India Today, Northeast. Acting on gathered intelligence, law enforcement officials launched a meticulous investigations regarding to the apprehensions of the alleged perpetrators. A case has been registered, and authorities affirm that the investigations remains underway to ascertain the full extent of the criminal network involved. In tandem with the crackdown on criminal elements, security forces have intensified search operations and area dominations in both hill and valley districts to bolster public safety. Vigilant measures have been enacted to facilitate the smooth movement of essential goods, with 233 and 286 vehicles ensured passage along National Highway 37 and National Highway 2 respectively. Stringent security protocols have been implemented across vulnerable locations, accompanied by security convoys to safeguard transportation routes. Furthermore, a comprehensive strategy to reinforce law and order includes the installations of 125 checkpoints across various districts of Manipur. These checkpoints serve as pivotal points for police surveillance, resulting in the detentions of 132 individuals linked to various violations across the state. Coming to national news. The Supreme Court on Friday orally asked the Elections Commission's EC to explain its inability to immediately upload on its website authenticated, scanned, and legible accounts of votes recorded booth-wise after its phase of polling in Lok Sabha elections. Every polling official submits voting records by the evening after 6 or 7 p.m., by which time the polling is completed. The returning officer would then be having the data of the entire constituency. Why don't you upload it? Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, heading a 3-judge bench, asked the EC Council. Rule 49S and Rule 56C, 2 of the Conduct of Elections Rules 1961 require the presiding officer to prepare an account of votes recorded in Form 17C Part 1 format. The question from the bench was based on an application filed by NGO associations for democratic reforms, represented by advocates Prasan Bhushan, Niharati and Chil D. Souza, alleging inordinate delay in the publications of voter turnout data of the first 2 phases of polling in Lok Sabha elections. The NGO said that besides delay in publishing the voter turnout details, there was also an unusually sharp spike in figures from the initial voter turnout percentages released by the EC. That development has raised alarm bells in the public's mind about the authenticity of the polling data available in the public domain, and even whether the electronic voting machines EVMs have been switched. In a hearing which saw the bench reconvene well after normal court hours on the last working day before a long annual summer recess, senior advocate Maninder Singh for the EC said the applications was a deliberate attempt to disturb the general elections. He said 4 phases of the elections had already taken place. The 5th phase was scheduled on Monday. Mr. Singh said a judgment of the Supreme Court on April 26 had discussed every aspect about the security of EVMs and conduct of elections, including Form 17C threadbare. The EC Council sought time to respond to the applications. Mr. Busan countered that the EVM case judgment had not dealt with the Form 17C point. The court found the request reasonable and listed the case for May 24 on the eve of the 6th phase of polling in the Lok Sabha polls. The petition said the voter turnout data for the first 2 phases of the Lok Sabha elections were published by the EC on April 30, and after 11 days of the first phase of polling held on April 19 and 4 days after the second phase of polling held on April 26. Heat wave is affecting large parts of North India, including the nation's capital. The maximum and minimum temperatures are likely to reach 42 and 31 degrees Celsius, respectively, on Friday in Delhi. The India Meteorological Department (IMD) had issued orange warning in Delhi for the period May 25 to 27. Meanwhile, voting for Lok Sabha elections 2024 is set to be held in Delhi on May 25. As per reports on Friday, at least 9 people have died of suspected heart heat stroke in India's western state of Rajasthan. India's summer temperatures often peak in May, but scientists have predicted more heat wave days than usual this year due to fewer non-monsoon thunder showers and an active but weakening El Nino weather phenomenon, reported news agency Reuters. The city of Barmer in Rajasthan topped temperatures just this week, with a record 48.8 degrees Celsius, 119.84 degrees Fahrenheit on Thursday. During the 7 editions of ongoing Joint Exercise Shakti, the India and French armies shared drills and expertise in jungle survival techniques. Survival in the mountains for self-preservation was practiced extensively during the exercises. The 7 editions of the India-France Joint Military Exercise, Shakti, commenced on May 13, 2024 at the Joint Training Node in Omroi, Meghalaya. The exercise aims to enhance the joint military capacity of both sides to undertake multi-domain operations in a sub-conventional scenario. According to an official release from the Public Relations Officer, PRO, Defense Guwahati, the exercise is scheduled to be conducted from 13 to 26 May. The opening ceremony of the joint exercise was attended by Thierry Mathot, Ambassador of France to India, and Major General Prasanna Sudhakar Joshi, General Officer commanding 51 Sub-Area. Exercise Shakti is a biennial training event conducted alternatively in India and France. The last edition was conducted in French in November 2021. Indian contingent comprising 90 personnel is being represented primarily by a battalion of the Rajput Regiment, besides personnel from other arms and services. Observers from the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force will also form part of the exercise. The French contingent comprising 90 personnel will be represented mainly by personnel from the 13th Foreign Legion Half Brigade, 13th DBLE. The aim of Exercise Shakti is to enhance the joint military capability of both sides to undertake multi-domain operations in a sub-conventional scenario under Chapter 7 of the United Nations mandate, the release added. Further, the joint exercise will focus on operations in the semi-urban and mountainous terrain. Objectives to be achieved from the joint training are a high degree of physical fitness, rehearsing and refining drills for operations at a tactical level, and sharing of best practices. Tactical drills to be practiced during the exercise will include response to a terrorist actions of capturing a defined territory, the establishment of a joint command post, the establishment of an intelligence and surveillance center, securing of an helipad or landing site, small team, insertion and extractions, special heliborne operations, cordon and search operations besides employment of drones and counter-drone systems, among others. Exercise Shakti will enable the two sides to share their best practices in tactics, techniques, and procedures for conducting joint operations. The joint exercise will facilitate the development of interoperability, bonhomie, and camaraderie between armed forces personnel of the two countries. This will also enhance the level of defense cooperations, further fostering bilateral relations between the two friendly nations. Coming to international news. India's ambitions to become a major player in the global defense export market received a significant boost in 2023 with a landmark deal with the Czech Republic. Munitions India Limited (MIL), a state-owned defense enterprise, secured a contract to supply 80,000 units of 120 mm high-explosive HE mortar shells and 50,000 units of 125 mm HE tank ammunition to the Czech armed forces. This substantial order underscores India's growing capabilities in indigenous defense productions and its potential to be a reliable supplier on the international stage. The Czech Republic's decision to partner with India signifies a number of positive developments. Firstly, it highlights the increasing competitiveness of Indian defense equipment. MIL's offerings are demonstrably meeting the requirements of a discerning European customer, indicating that Indian-made arms are achieving a level of quality and sophistications that can compete globally. Secondly, the deal reflects growing international confidence in India's defense industry. The Czech Republic's decision comes on the heels of a series of successful export orders for Indian-made defense products in recent years. These trends suggest that India is establishing itself as a dependable partner for countries seeking to diversify their defense procurement options. It is important to note that India has maintained a neutral stance on the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. While the country is a major defense exporter, it has been cautious about supplying arms that could be used in the region. To alleviate these concerns in New Delhi, the Czech Republic reportedly signed a stringent end-user agreement that prohibits the transfer of the procured ammunition to a third party. This agreement assured India that the weaponry used would be used solely by the Czech armed forces and would not be diverted to any other nation. The successful execution of the Czech Republic deal, along with the continued efforts to modernize its defense manufacturing sector, will be crucial for India to achieve its ambitious export targets. By showcasing its technological advancements, building trust with potential partners, and ensuring efficient delivery timelines, India can solidify its place as a key player in the global defense export market. Russian President Vladimir Putin is ready to halt the war in Ukraine with a negotiated ceasefire that recognizes the current battlefield lines. 4 Russian sources told Reuters, saying he is prepared to fight on if Kyiv and the West do not respond. Citing sources, Reuters reported that Putin is willing to consider a negotiated ceasefire, which would acknowledge the current front lines of the battlefield. However, they also indicate that Putin is adamant about continuing the fight if there is no response from Kyiv and the West. Insiders familiar with discussions within Putin's inner circle have revealed that the Russian leader has expressed frustrations over what he perceived as Western interference hindering peace negotiations. Also, Putin is said to be disappointed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's refusal to engage in talks. Putin can fight for as long as it takes, but Putin is also ready for a ceasefire to freeze the war, said another of the four, a senior Russian source who has worked with Putin and has knowledge of top-level conversations in the Kremlin. He, like the others cited in this story, spoke on conditions of anonymity given the matter sensitively. He, like the others cited in this story, spoke on conditions of anonymity given the matter's sensitivity. We thank you for joining our program.